All right, so I got a story here that really just cuts to the heart of the depravity here in the United States system and our institutions, where it seems like the state at every turn is perfectly willing to use violence by any means necessary to crack down and oppress on the citizens of the United States. And there was a story that came out a couple of weeks ago or days ago at this point, I don't know. But it basically was saying that a lot of prisons that are still executing prisoners here in the United States, we still have the state has the ability to execute American citizens. And a lot of these jails were having trouble finding the ingredients to do lethal injections. They were not able to obtain them. I think the European Union had a ban on these ingredients because it's outrageous that we are still executing people in this way. And so in the wake of that lack of ingredients for the specific method of lethal injection, a lot of these prisons have been trying to come up with different ways or resort to previous ways of executing prisoners in the meantime. And we had one where they were talking about doing a firing squad. I forget which state that was in, but they were proposing bringing back the firing squad for death row inmates. And here I have one that is just an absolutely disgusting example of how low our country is sinking right now on this issue. So Arizona prepares to use Auschwitz gas Zyklon B on death row inmates. So here's some of the details here from Newsweek. The state of Arizona has purchased the ingredients necessary to produce a deadly gas used in Nazi concentration camps during the Holocaust, with the apparent intention of deploying it to execute death row inmates. According to documents obtained by The Guardian, Arizona's Department of Corrections has spent more than $2,000 on ingredients to make up hydrogen cyanide, the same gas used at the notorious Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp. The heavily redacted documents, which the newspaper has made available online, show that Arizona spent $1,500 in December 2020 on a solid brick of potassium cyanide. The state also bought sodium hydroxide pellets and sulfuric acid necessary to generate the gas. The state's gas chamber at Arizona State Prison Complex in Florence has reportedly been refurbished as the Republican-controlled state pushed to begin executing death row inmates after a 7-year pause, and that pause was due to the botched trial, or the botched lethal injection of Joseph Wood in 2014, and the convicted murderer took nearly 2 hours to die, having been injected with enough drugs to execute 15 people using the amount outlined in the state protocol. So basically, even when we do go to these steps to brutally execute American citizens for these crimes, even in the cases that they did do the crime, because there are many cases where innocent people have been executed and then proven to be innocent later on. But if that's not enough of a reason to completely eliminate executions altogether, we have examples like this where even if it is a murderer, okay, they don't deserve to be subjected to this suffering and torture. Nobody does. It's a complete violation of human rights. It should be outright banned. It should be illegal. It should be considered a crime. And yet we still have examples like this where instead of taking this as a learning lesson, right, of somebody had to suffer for hours in agonizing pain, instead of taking that lesson and saying maybe we just shouldn't execute people, they take the exact opposite lesson and are now willing to use the same gas that was used in Nazi concentration camps here in the United States. So, I mean, listen, again, this just cuts straight to the heart of the moral depravity within our system here, okay? We should not be executing people, period, end of story, okay? Again, not just with the arguments that you're not going to 100% be accurate. There are people who are convicted of crimes that they didn't commit. They're put on death row and then they are executed and found to be innocent later on. And the percentage of that, the percentage of people who end up being found innocent after being executed is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I can't remember it off the top of my head. It was something, ridiculous that would warrant, obviously, not executing people if that risk was to be taken at all. If you're going to line 10 people up and have them executed knowing that one of them is probably innocent, then it's not worth doing it. But even beyond that, the people who do commit these crimes still don't deserve to be executed, okay? It's more expensive if you care about the economics of it, but even just on a moral perspective, why is the state allowed to execute people at all, period? The whole point of having an incarceral system should be, at least, to try to rehabilitate people, and then to the extent that you can't, then provide them with, basic human rights and dignity in the prisons system that we have. But this is what we're doing. This is the direction that we have in Republican-controlled states, at least, especially like Arizona. They're resorting to using gas that was used in Auschwitz. So, absolutely ridiculous story here. This should be outright banned. This should be illegal. This should be unconstitutional. We need to stop doing executions in this country. It's just disgusting. It's an archaic form of punishment that not only doesn't deter any criminal offenses, it doesn't prevent people from actually going out and committing murders. Believe it or not, even though we have the death penalty, people still go out and commit violent crimes. That's just a reality, and there's no reason to resort to this ridiculous brutality.